हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जयतां सुरतौर्पंग मम मंद मतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बोजौ राधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्याद्वृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमदौ श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद् राधा शीला गोविंद देवौ प्रेष्ठालिवि सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि। श्रीमन् रासरसारंबी वंशी वटतटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथः स्त्रियेस्तु नः। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्रीराधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। गुरवे गौरचंद्राय श्री राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। आनंद लीलामय विग्रहाय हेमावदिव्य विसुंदराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रसप्रदाय श्रीमन् चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते। नित्यानंदमहं नौमि सर्वानंदकरं परम हरिनाम प्रदम देवम अवधूत शिरोमणि। श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय। श्री नित्यानंद राम की जय। हरे कृष्ण। Thank you all dear devotees for joining. We are right now in the 9th chapter of our reading of the Krishna book, and this is that section where Krishna is tied with the loving ropes of Maya Yashoda. Ukhal Bandhan Leela. When we go to Vrindavan, we find there is a place called as Ukhal Bandhan. We go to Brahmanda Ghat, the place where Krishna had dirt. And then we find there are so many places there. Chintaharan Mahadev. You have Mahadev, who's called as Chintaharan Mahadev. जिनकी आराधना करने से चिंता, जितनी भी चिंता है सब निकल जाती है। चिंताहरण, सारे चिंता को हर लेते हैं। Chintaharan Mahadev, Brahmanda Ghat. And likewise, we will find, of course, this is in Gokul. This is in Gokul because we see Krishna when he was below 3, he was in Gokul, and after that he moves to Vrindavan Dham. So we have Ukal Bandhan Leela, the place where Damodar Leela took place. In fact, even it's still there. So many devotees, when they go to Gokul, they visit this place. And opposite Gokul, or opposite Ukal Bandhan, in fact, opposite Ukal Bandhan, we have the place where Gargacharya named Krishna and Balaram. That place is also there. The place where the name giving ceremony was done for Dauji and Krishna. That place is there. So it's exactly opposite Ukal Bandhan in Gokul. Of course, whenever we go to Braj, we can see these places. So this section of Krishna being bound with the ropes of Maya's pure love, Vatsalya Prem, this took place in Gokul. In the meantime, Maya Yashoda returned to the churning place after setting the overflowing milk pan in order. She saw the broken pot in which the churning yogurt had been kept. Since she could not find her boy, she concluded that the broken pot was his work. She smiled as she thought, "This child is very clever. After breaking the pot, he has left this place fearing punishment." After she sought all over, she found her son sitting on a big wooden grinding mortar, which was kept upside down. He was taking butter from a pot which was hanging from the ceiling on a swing, and he was feeding it to the monkeys. In the Ramayana, we find when Maya Sita was kidnapped, it is a very painful section when Maya Sita gets kidnapped. Krishna had gone behind the golden deer. He knew that it is Marich, but still to please Maya Sita, he went. And then we find Marich. He imitates the sound of Sri Ram, and then Lakshman also follows. And he, amidst the Lakshman Rekha, in spite of all those things, Ravan is so intelligent that he came and he kidnaps Maya Sita. But as we know, it was the Maik Sita that was kidnapped, the illusionary form. The real Sita was taken charge by Agni Devata. The fire god had taken the real Sita while a Maik or illusionary form was presented. We find between when he is taking Sita to Ashok Vatika, Jatayu tries to help. Jatayu is a bird. Jatayu was very old. Ravana had all the weapons, everything at his disposal, but still Jatayu tried. He tried his level best. He knew he's going to die. He knew the power of Ravana. He knew Ravan is so powerful without weapons. What to speak when he is having all the weapons and he's having all the chariots and he's having all the horses. Jatayu knew he's going to die. But still, to serve Sri Ram, he fought. And we see the Supreme Lord personally does the last rites for Jatayu. It's very, very rare we find that the Lord is doing last rites for his devotees. Very rare. Another example is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Thakur Mahashai, Haridas Thakur. He who breathed and chanted the holy name so much that even the Lord was compelled to do the last rites. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu held the body of Haridas Thakur in his hand and would dance. For so many hours with the body of Haridas Thakur, he danced. And then he bathed the body of Haridas Thakur in the ocean. And he declared that from now, this ocean is a Tirtha Sthan because Haridas Thakur, Thakur Mahashai's body has been bathed. Gangara Parasha Hoile Paschate Pavan Darshane Pavitra Koroi Tumara Gun. Narottam Das Thakur explains that yes, one can become pure by taking bath in Ganga. But for that, we have to go to Ganga. Ganga doesn't come to our house. But Darshane Pavitra Ai Tumarogan, my dear Sadhu, you are so glorious. Just by looking at you, or just by you looking at me, Darshane Pavitra Karo Ai Tumarogun, you make me completely Pavitra. For Ganga, I have to go. But sadhus are kind, they're constantly traveling. Through the means of their Harikatha, they are traveling and they're purifying the world. So in the pastime of Ram, we find that when the bridge was being built, so many helped. The squirrels helped, Hanumanji helped, the bear helped, Jatayu's brother Sampati helped. Everyone in that army helped. And so did the monkeys. So did the monkeys. And Sri Ram is so kind. He does not think, oh, Hanuman is bringing mountains while the squirrel is only getting pebbles. What is the use of pebbles? Sri Ram never thinks like that. In our daily activities also, dear devotees, different devotees may do different kinds of services. Some services may be very big from an external standpoint, while some services may be in the background. But Sri Ram is teaching that both the services are equal in his vision. Someone may be a pot washer, while someone may be a big kirtaniya. A pot washer may not be recognized. He may be there behind the curtain. while a Kirtaniya may get all the YouTube lives and the Facebook lives. But in the eyes of the Supreme Lord, both are the same. There's no difference. There's no difference. So squirrel may be just putting some pebbles, while Hanumanji is getting big boulders and big rocks and big mountains. But for the Supreme Lord, both are the same. And while you have monkeys in between who are getting little bigger than pebbles, but not as big as what Hanumanji is getting. And Sri Ram is also accepting that. So after he went to Lanka and he fought Ravana and killed Ravana, when Maya Sita came back, Sri Ram was gifting all his associates different things, whether the squirrels, whether the bear, Sampati. Sri Ram was reciprocating. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyam. He was reciprocating to their love. But he did not give anything to the monkeys. He could not give anything to the monkeys because there were so many monkeys. There are so many monkeys. So what will the Lord give? So Sri Ram at that time promised, in this incarnation, I cannot give you. What can I give you? I cannot give you anything in this incarnation. But the next incarnation I will come. I will give you something that I did not give anyone. Not Hanuman, not Jambavan, not Sampati, not the squirrels, not the bear, no one. I will give you something that I have never given anyone. And in the next stage, we find that same Sri Ram comes as Krishna. And those same monkeys who helped Sri Ram build the bridge and fight the war against Ravana, those same monkeys again come back in Braj. And Krishna is now repaying. Krishna is now repaying. Maya doesn't know this. Maya doesn't know this. But Krishna is now repaying and personally feeding every monkey that, my dear monkey, you use these hands of yours and these legs of yours to help me. Now you will be tired. I will personally feed you. If for every monkey, baby monkey, big monkey, Krishna would personally call them and he would feed them. So much care, so much mamata. Krishna never forgets. Even little devotional service that we do, Krishna never forgets. We forget. We forget. Krishna never forgets. It is not his pravriti to forget. Neha vikramana asosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Krishna never forgets even little devotional activity. So here Krishna is repaying the monkeys. Even the Supreme Lord was in debt. In fact, Krishna is still in debt. What is the praman? Because the praman for this, that Krishna is still in debt, is even till this date we find monkeys in Vrindavan. भगवान अब तक ऋण चुका नहीं पाए, इसलिए अब तक बंदर है. If Krishna had repaid his debt, then you wouldn't find monkeys. But he is still repaying his debt. It's been 5,000 years since Krishna Leela. What to speak from Ram Leela? He is still repaying his debt, and that's why you find so many monkeys still around in Vrindavan. The Supreme Lord took service, but has still not been able to repay. By worshipping whom one becomes debt-free. Devarshi bhutapta nrunam pitrunam. Sarvatmana ya snapanam sharanyam gato mukunda pariritya kartam. He is called Mukunda. Mukti dadati iti. जिनकी आराधना करने से जितने भी ऋण है सब चले जाते हैं. One becomes ऋण free, debt free, no more debt. He's called Mukunda, Mukti Dadati iti. But that same Lord has now become indebted to his devotees. He's become indebted to his devotees. The same thing Krishna says even to the Braja Gopis after Gopi Git. Na parayeham niravadya samyujam sadhu krityam vibudayushapiva. Yama bhajan durjara geha shrinkalam samvrichraya pratiyati sadhunam. He says, my dear Braja Gopis, even in the lifetime of Brahma, I cannot repay what you all have done for me. So again, Krishna is saying, I'm indebted. And again, likewise to the monkeys, till this date, he's indebted. He who's Mukunda, जिनकी आराधना करने से मुक्ति pradan karte hain, and whatever debt is there, that debt completely goes away. He is now indebted to his devotees. यह अस्वतंत्र इवो द्विज साधुबीर ग्रस्त हृदयम भक्तेर भक्त जनप्रियः. The Supreme Lord does not know anyone apart from devotees, and the devotees don't know anyone apart from the Lord. It's a loving relationship. It's a loving relationship. And that Lord is so kind that whenever the devotee needs, the Supreme Lord is there for his protection. So many instances we find. Devotees who have surrendered to the Lord, when they require the Lord, when calamities or obstacles are there in their life, the Supreme Lord goes to any extreme to protect them. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu departed from this world, the teachings of Mahaprabhu got very distorted. Mahaprabhu's fundamental teaching is parakhiras, the superiority of parakhiras, paramour love. But after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu departed this world, this parakhiras was distorted, and even the so-called pandits and the jnanis and the yogis and so many others were trying to superimpose their material understanding on the Supreme Lord. In this world, we find when male and female come together, it is lust. It is not love. It is lust. Love is not there in this world. Atmendra priti vancha bali kam, Krishnendra priti ishta dhari premanam. The desire to satisfy one's senses, this is calm. But Krishnendra priti ishta dhari premanam, the desire to satisfy Krishna's senses, this is love. And this we don't find in this world. When two people come together, invariably it is calm. Calm just doesn't mean lust. It means material desires from a broader perspective. So we find that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu departed, and this parakhiras was distorted, and people were making their own conclusions, and even the pandits and the yogis who were there were giving their own assumption on Krishna, and they were not promoting the right idea of parakhiras. As we understand, there are two moods. One is Swakhiya and one is Parakhiya. Swakhiya is when Krishna is married. Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jambavati, Mitravinda, Kalindi, Nagnachiti, etc. This is Swakhiya ras, which we find outside of Vrindavan. But in Vrindavan, it is Parakhiya ras, paramour love. Now, this was completely getting distorted. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he outlined what Parakhiya ras is in his books, through his commentary, through his purports. And now when the yogis and the pandits, they saw this, that, oh, someone from हमारे समाज से कोई है जो पारखी रस के बारे में लिख रहा है. Someone from our assembly is writing about parakhi ras, about the superiority of parakhi ras. And people were against him. People were completely against him. So the plan was made that even debates that were kept, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur won those debates and proved the supremacy of parakhi ras. So now this was too much for people. So now they decided that, well, there's only one thing that we can do. Let's kill Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Because till the time he is there, he is going to write such commentaries, and which means his name in the Samaj, in the assembly, he will be glorified more and we will not be given any credit. Let's just kill him. So in Radhakund, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur would go to a forest every single day and he would do his bhajan. So one day, dacoits, they came with complete weapons to kill Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And they were waiting for Thakur Mahashai, or Vishwanath Chakravarti. And they were waiting, and they were waiting, and they were waiting. And he did not come. So they were waiting practically all day and he did not come. And they were thinking, why is Vishwanath Chakravarti not coming? Every single day he comes here to do his bhajan, but today he is not coming. What happened? And while as they were discussing this, they saw a young girl, young Kishori, young girl. Like in Vrindavan, they say for young boy, they will say Lala. And for young girl, they will say Lali. I remember the first time I met Shripad Dinabandhu Prabhu in Vrindavan. He looked at me and said, Lala ka naam kya hai? He asked in Hindi. And for those devotees who know, Shripad Dinabandhu Prabhu's white body. He said, Lala ka naam kya hai? And I couldn't follow because I didn't expect Hindi from him, leave alone using Braj terms. So then I realized, okay, he was asking my name. So in Vrindavan, we find for boys, you have Lala and girls, Lali. It's a Braj way of calling. Even now, I know many families in the US, they address their daughters as Lali. This reminds you of Braj. It's a very sweet way. Daughters can be called as Lali and boys are Lala. So anyway, they saw a young girl, Kishori, and she was in the forest. She was picking flowers. So they went up to her and said, "Did you see Vishwanath Chakravarti? Every day he comes here. So did you see him?" She said, "No, I didn't see Vishwanath Chakravarti. Every day he's there, yes, but I didn't see him." So they said, "Okay." And she said, "Probably he may not come today because it's already sunset and maybe she may not come." So these dacoits were thinking, well, that's okay, but what are you doing here? It's evening time, and what are you doing here in the forest? So she said, "Oh, I'm plucking flowers." "Flowers for what? Why do you need flowers?" She said, "Oh, I am Radharani's maidservant. I am Radharani's maidservant. And now Radharani is in Yavat because after marriage, Radharani went to Yavat. Brishabhanu pure janamalo ilo Yavata vibaha hobe. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Brishabhanu pure janamalo ilo. If I have an opportunity, if I can select where I can be born, Vrishabhanu pure. I want to be born in Vrishabhanupur, which means Barsana. And Yavat Vivaho hobe. If the talk of my marriage is going on, then my only desire is I should get married and go to Yavat. Why? Understanding is wherever Radharani is there, I want to be there. Radharani appeared in Raval, I want to be there. Radharani did a childhood pastimes in Barsana, oh, I want to be there. Radharani after marriage goes to Yavat, oh, I also want to go to Yavat. So wherever Radharani is there, Hamari Mai Shama Joko Raj. Wherever our Radharani is there, we want to be there. Like in Vrindavan, they say, Hamari Mai Shama Joko Raj. Like our Radharani, all glories to our Radharani. Hamari Mai Shama Joko Raj. So wherever our Radhika is there, we want to be there. Radha bhajane jadi mati nahi gela, Krishna bhajana tava akarana gela. Thakur Mahasaya explains, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, Radha bhajane yadi mati nahi gela. If someone is worshipping Krishna but is not worshipping Radharani, what is the use? What is the use? If someone is just worshipping Krishna, like many places you will find only Krishna is being worshipped, no Radharani. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, what is the use? Radha bhajane jadi mati nahi gela, Krishna bhajana tava akarana gela. His worship of Krishna is useless. Because without Radhika, how will Krishna be there? At least Vrindavan Krishna will not be there. Some other Krishna will be there, but our Shyamasundar will not be there. Our Prananath will not be there. Our Gopinath will not be there. So this Kishori was plucking flowers and she was saying, "Oh, I am the maidservant of Radharani." And now Radharani is in Yavat. And in the afternoon time, she is going to Surya Kund because Shyamasundar is going to come to Surya Kund. And she has given me the service to pluck flowers and to make a nice garland out of it so that when she meets her Shyam in Surya Kund, she can offer that garland. So these dacoits were hearing this. Dacoits were hearing a Bhagavatam class from this young girl. And now they said, okay, they were impressed. And now this girl in a nice tokri, she collected all the flowers in a basket. She collected all the flowers and she was going. And as she was going, she transformed into he. That she transformed into he, and that he was Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur had come in his original Manjari Swarup to that forest. And now when he was, he took all the flowers and when he was going back, he transformed again. And as he transformed again, these dacoits saw, hey, wait a minute. He is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And he is there in a Manjari Swarup as Radharani's servant, which means, my goodness, whatever he is writing about Parakiras, this is true. This is true. He is actually a sadhu. He's actually a sadhu. He has written about the glories of Parakhiras, and it's not his imagination. He's actually there. So they fell at the feet of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and begged him for initiation. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur initiated them. And those dacoits, later they went back to their friends and they narrated this story. And those friends also came back and became the disciples of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So we find this is a very sweet pastime where Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur disguises himself in his Manjari Swarup to teach the world that he is not a normal entity. He is Radharani's maid servant. And that Radharani's maid servant is writing Sarartha Darshini, 10th canto commentary, Sarartha Varshini, Bhagavad Gita commentaries, Madhurya Kadambini, and so many other wonderful books. So the reason we're discussing this is the Lord always protects his devotees. The devotees don't know anyone apart from the Lord. The Lord does not know anyone apart from his devotees. And whenever the devotees need him, in fact, the devotees need him all the time. But even in situations where their life is at stake, the Supreme Lord protects them. Always we find. And what to speak of reciprocating. Here we are talking about human species. Now this is beyond species. This is monkeys. This is not even human species. But Bhagavan bhulte nahi hai. He doesn't forget. He doesn't forget. And one yuga later, he's now sitting and feeding the monkeys and reciprocating to their love. And still, till this date, he has not been able to free himself from the debt of Ram Leela. Anyway, so Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. She saw Krishna looking this way and that way in fear of her because he was conscious of his naughty behavior. After seeing her son so engaged, she very silently approached him from behind. Krishna, however, saw her coming towards him and with a stick in her hand, and he immediately got down from the grinding motor and began to flee in fear. Mother Yashoda chased him to all corners, trying to capture the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was never approached even by the meditations of great yogis. Such an interesting statement. Maya Yashoda is running behind or trying to catch Krishna, who is never caught even by the yogis. The yogis are doing bhajan for so many lifetimes together. We find so many yogis, different caves in the Himalayas and so many other places, and they're trying to get the attention of the Supreme Lord. But not all are successful. And here is Maya Yashoda, who's a simple village lady. He's not just seeing the Lord, he's now trying to catch the Lord, and the Lord is running in fear. What kind of love is this? भगवान को देखना एक बात है, भगवान से बोलना अलग बात है, भगवान को स्पर्श करना पूरी तरीके से अलग बात है, और अब भगवान को खिलाना ये तो और ही अलग बात है. अब भगवान इतने भयभीत हो गए कि मैया से दूर भागते. अरे बात ही क्या करे, बाप रे बाप. कहीं जन्म बीत जाते हैं और भगवान का दर्शन नहीं होता. यहां सिर्फ दर्शन नहीं, स्पर्श नहीं, आलिंगन नहीं, चुंबन नहीं, लेकिन भगवान को पकड़कर भगवान के पीछे भाग रहे हैं और भगवान भयभीत होकर मैया से बोल रहे हैं, क्षमा कर दीजिए, मैं फिर से नहीं करूंगा. हम कैसे समझे इस प्रेम को? मुहुश्चुंबितम बिंबा रक्तादरम में. Maya is so much in love with Krishna that muhuschumbitam bimba. She is kissing the cheeks of Krishna. So much mamata, so much love. So that great yogis who cannot find the Supreme Lord even in their meditation, now that Supreme Lord is running behind, or is running not behind but running in fear from Maya. In other words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was never caught by the yogis and speculators, was playing just like a little child for such a great devotee as Maya Yashoda. Maya Yashoda, however, could not easily catch the fast running child for such a great devotee. Could not catch the fast running child because of her thin waist and heavy body. In fact, Bhagavatam describes that Maya Yashoda was a little on the heavier side. Yeah, Yashoda was a little on the heavier side. And when Krishna appeared, nowadays we find generally if a lady becomes a mother, maybe she's in her late 20s or maybe early 30s. Of course, if we are talking about a person from Bollywood, then in Bollywood, you'll find even a lady of 45 and 50 will end up becoming a mother. And after that, even after that, she will divorce and then she will have a boyfriend and or whatever it is. We are not talking about Bollywood. We are talking about a normal, proper Vedic cultural lifestyle. Maybe in her late 20s or early 30s, she would end up becoming a mother. But Maya was neither in her late 20s, neither early 30s. She was pretty old. When Krishna appeared, she was not young. She was pretty old. Of course, um, we're talking about Dwapar Yuga, so the lifespan was also way more than the Kali Yuga lifespan. But nonetheless, she was not in her 20s or 30s when Krishna came. And she had a heavy body, or she has a heavy body, as Prabhupada explains here. In fact, we find in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadev Goswami ends up explaining the bodily beauty of Maya Yashoda. You will find many verses explaining before the Damodar Lila or during the Damodar Lila pastime. She still tried to follow him as fast as possible. Her hair loosened and the flowers in her hair fell down to the ground. It's almost like the flowers were also thinking that she is running behind Krishna. No one has this adhikar and no one has this capability. People run in fear. When Narsinghadev appeared, people were running in fear. Hiranyakashipu was running in fear. He was like a mosquito in front of Narsinghadev. That same Narsinghadev is coming as Krishna. And here, he is running in fear. There, his devotees were running in fear. Everyone was running in fear except Prahlad. And here, he himself is running in fear. So the flowers almost were there on the head. They began to think, because spiritual world, everything is Chintamani. Everything thinks, everything walks, everything talks, everything laughs, everything smiles. Every step is a dance. Every day is a festival. It's a very wonderful place, Vrindavan Dham. Mukti kahe Gopal se meri mukti bataye. In Vrindavan, one of the walls, I remember my brother and I, we had gone there. It's of course a sweet shop. For those devotees who have been, it's called as Giriraj Mishtan Bhandar. When you're doing Govardhan Parikrama, you'll find Giriraj Mishtan Bhandar. It was Aindra Prabhu's favorite place. So we just wanted to explore. So we had gone there. So when we were having some sweets, like when you're walking Giriraj Parikrama 21 kilometers, you invariably stop at some place just to recharge yourself. So there in the wall in Giriraj Mishtan Bhandar, it was written, Mukti kahe Gopal se meri mukti bataye. Mukti Devi is asking Gopal that, my dear Gopal, everyone is coming to me for liberation. But where should I go? Everyone is coming to me for liberation. Everyone wants mukti, 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 liberation. So Mukti Devi personification is asking Krishna, where should I go? Mukti kahe Gopal se meri mukti bataye. Now Krishna is answering, Brajraj udi aur mastak lagi to mukti mukt ho jaye. Krishna is saying, my dear Mukti Devi, when the Brajraj rises in the air and when it touches your forehead, you will get liberated. Which means when pure sadhus are walking and that Brajraj rises in the air, and when that Brajraj touches your forehead, my dear Mukti, you will get liberated. This is the power of Brajraj. Power of Brajraj. Mukti kahe Gopal se meri mukti bataye. Brajraj udi aur mastak lagi to mukti mukt ho jaye. Mukti Devi gets liberated by just the Brajraj of Vrindavan Dham. This is a very, very special place. Vrindavan becomes special by the presence of the sadhus there. Those sadhus who are doing bhajan. It's the presence of devotees who make the place special. So now, this pastime which is taking place in the land of Vrindavan Dham, Krishna is running, Maya is chasing, and these flowers that are there on the head, they all fall down to the ground. It's almost like the flowers are thinking, she is trying to do the impossible. She is trying to do something that no one ever in history has done, to catch Krishna, that too from behind. and to tie him. Arre baapre, no one has ever done this. Our position is not in her head, but our position is actually at her feet. We don't have adhikar to be on her head, but actually we should be at her feet. She is trying to catch Krishna from behind, and Krishna is running in fear. We should not be in our head, but at her feet. Thinking thus, these flowers fall down, our acharyas explain. They fall down at the feet of Maya Yashoda. All glories to you, Maya. You're trying to catch Krishna. Yogis are not trying to catch, and you, being a village lady, you're trying to catch Krishna. Dhanya ho aap. Dhanya ho. Ahoti dhanya vrajago ramanya. Brahmaji says, my dear Krishna, what to speak of Brajavasis? Ahoti dhanya vrajago ramanya. They are so fortunate. Aho bhagyam nanda gopar vajaukasam yanmitra paramanandam purna brahma sanatanam. Aho bhagyam, 2 times. My dear Krishna, the Vrajavasis are fortunate to have you, yes, but you are also equally fortunate to have the Vrajavasis. That's why 2 times aho bhagyam. Aho bhagyam, aho bhagyam. Vrajavasis are fortunate to have you, Krishna, but you are also very fortunate to have Vrajavasis in your life. So in Vrindavan, everything is Chintamani. These flowers are thinking, and now they're falling at the feet of Maya. Although she was tired, she somehow reached her naughty child and captured him. When he was caught, Krishna was almost on the point of crying. He smeared his hands over his eyes, which were anointed with black eye cosmetics, which means kajal. Maya would put nice kajal for Lala. Nice kajal, nice gopi dots, nice jewelry, nice kopin, Pitambar Vesh, Mor Mukut Dhari, Gopavesh, Venukar, Navakishore Natavar, best among dancers. He would have a flute, very young. And that Krishna is having black eye cosmetics, nice kajal. The child saw his mother's face while she stood over him, and his eyes became restless in fear. Dear devotees, let us continue, because we are at this point where Krishna is in fear. And now if we stop here, we are making Krishna wait 24 hours in fear, and we don't want to do that. If we stop here, next for 24 hours, Krishna is going to be there in fear. So let us continue a little more, and we will release Krishna till the point where he's at least a little comfortable with Maya Yashoda. Srila Guru Maharaj says this. One time Srila Guru Maharaj was there in Mumbai, in a place called as Mulund. For those devotees who are from Mumbai will know. So he was there at a disciple's house, and the disciple was reading Geet Govind. She was young girl in her 20s, and she was reading Geet Govind. And at one point when she said that she wants to go to the washroom, Srila Guru Maharaj said, no, this is that section where Radharani is separated from Krishna. And now if you go to the washroom and come back, it will take at least 5 minutes, which means you're making Radharani wait 5 minutes in separation. She's already crying. So sing one more song where they unite, and then go wherever you want. But don't make Radharani wait like this. So it's a good teaching that we can learn from our superiors. Likewise, here Krishna is in fear. So we don't want to stop and keep Krishna in fear for the next 24 hours. So let's continue. Mother Yashoda could understand that Krishna was unnecessarily afraid. And for his benefit, she wanted to allay his fears. Being the topmost well-wisher of her child, Maya Yashoda thought, if the child is too fearful of me, I don't know what will happen to him. Mother Yashoda then threw away her stick. In order to punish him, she thought to bind his hands with some ropes. She did not know it, but it was actually impossible for her to bind the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavan ko kaun बांध सकता है? कौन बांध सकता है भगवान को? But Maya is not giving up. Maya Yashoda was thinking that Krishna was her tiny child. She did not know that the child had no limitation. Ano aniyan mahato mahiyan. Krishna is smaller than the smallest, larger than the largest. Govindam adi purusham tam aham bhajami. He's ananta. There's no end. There's no start, there's no end. There is no inside or outside of him, no beginning or end. He is unlimited and all-pervading. Indeed, he is himself the whole cosmic manifestation. Still, Maya Yashoda was thinking of Krishna as her child. So much mamata is there. Yes, he's inside out of everything. Yes, he's all pervading. Yes, he's Bhagavan. There is no start, there is no end. But still, Maya is convinced, ye mera bachcha hai. He is my child, and I will tie him. I will tie him. There is no end to the power of bhakti. Through the power of bhakti, the Supreme Lord can be conquered. So many examples. Through the power of bhakti, the Supreme Lord is bound. Manye dhanabhijana rupa tapashrutojas teja prabhava bala paurusha buddhi yoga naradhanani bhavanti parasya pumsam bhaktya tutoshna bhagavan gajayutapaya. 799 Bhagavatam. Prayers of Prahlad. Bhaktya tutoshna bhagavan gajayutapaya. Prahlad Maharaj says, nothing attracts Krishna. Nothing material attracts Krishna except bhakti. Simple, genuine, loving devotion service. We don't have to become someone very big. Whoever we are, wherever we are, from male, female, Indian, American, boy, girl, adult, old age, whatever caste, whatever creed, whatever race, whoever we are, we can get Krishna. We can get Krishna. It's only our sincerity that is important. We are never qualified, but we are never disqualified in Krishna consciousness. Yes, we are not qualified. We are not qualified, but we are never disqualified. It's not that Krishna is going to say, oh, you are not accepted. Yeah, at this point, we are not qualified. Yes, we agree. But doesn't mean we will be bereft of Krishna's mercy. We are not qualified, but doesn't mean we are disqualified in Krishna consciousness. He is beyond the reach of all senses. She endeavored to bind him to wooden grinding mortar. But when she tried to bind him, she found that the rope she was using was too short by 2 inches. She gathered more ropes from the house and added to it, but still she found the same shortage. In this way, she connected all the ropes available at home, but when the final knot was added, she saw that the rope was still 2 inches too short. Parasya Shakti Vividaya Shuyate. The Supreme Lord has a lot of Shaktis. Mama Tejamsha Sambhava. This is just Krishna says, this is a spark of my splendor. Mama Tejamsha Sambhava. But Maya still doesn't give up. You may show your Mama Tejamsha Sambhava, but you do that outside of Vrindavan, not in front of me. Mere samne nahi chalega. And Maya is still making sure that she wants to tie Krishna. Maya was smiling, but she was astonished. How was it happening? Dear devotees, we will stop at this point because Krishna is not tied right now. Maya is still trying, but Krishna is not bound. If we read little more, then Krishna will be bound. Then we'll have to finish the chapter. So at this point, Maya has dropped the stick and Krishna is not bound. She's just trying, but she is not bound. So we will stop at this point and continue tomorrow from the point where we left off to see. We'll continue tomorrow from the point to see what happens in this very wonderful pastime of Dam Bandhan Leela. Having said this, I stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Dam Bandhan Leela ki jai. Ukhal Bandhan Leela ki jai. Gokul Dham ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari.